But I will say this, the man who understands the halls of government, who's taken on the governor, it's this guy. So welcome, Kevin Kiley.
Thank you so much. What a beautiful sight this is. And thank you, Pastor Rob, for that amazing introduction and for your just invaluable leadership.
Is it turned on? Oh, good.
How are we doing? Hear me okay?
There you go.
For your invaluable leadership during these challenges. We actually just met, and about 30 seconds into our first conversation, he quoted Aristotle. So I was like, this is my kind of pastor. And I love the introduction, the consent of the governed. I mean, those might be 5 of the most important words in our Declaration of Independence, but they're also 5 of the most forgotten words. But right now, we're all showing that they still have meaning in this state. So I'm Kevin Kiley, and I'm running to, replace Gavin Newsom as the governor of California. And I'm a member of the legislature. I represent a district a little north of here, just east of Sacramento. It's where I grew up. It's an area that's anchored by the values of family, community, and faith. This is a pretty big church. I grew up going to a big church. It's called Bayside, although it actually, when I started going there, it met in the gymnasium of my high school. And we were the Grizzlies, that are mascots. There's this giant grizzly bear, very ferocious looking, painted on the wall. So it's an interesting place to worship. But it became one of the fastest growing churches in the country, and actually there's a whole family of churches now. And I graduated from local schools. I went to college back east. After graduating, I returned to California and became a high school teacher. I taught 10th grade English, actually, in inner city LA. And then I went to law school. I defended the Constitution in our courts. I was a prosecutor of violent felons. And in every stage of my career, I was seeing our state's problems just continue to grow. So I ran for the legislature to try to do something about it. And over the last 5 years, as a member of the legislature, I've seen why our state's problems are growing. We have a state government that is fundamentally broken, that has all of the wrong priorities. When it comes to education, we disregard what is best for our kids. When it comes to the economy, we disrespect businesses and workers alike. And when it comes to the faith community, citizens exercising our nation's first freedom are too often our state's first target. We've seen this in the way the state has gone after private Christian colleges, like one outstanding college in my district, William Jessup University. But the moment that really captured this mentality for me actually was something that happened in Washington, D.C., when Amy Coney Barrett was first nominated to be an appeals judge. You might remember this. At the confirmation hearing, one of California's senators said that her faith was a disqualification to be a judge. She said, "The dogma lives loudly within you." Now, as a state legislator, this was one of our senators. And so I said, I have to do something about this. So I wrote a letter to Senator Feinstein, signed by 25 other legislators. And we told her that your comments profoundly misunderstand what it means to be a person of faith and promote a myth that faith and citizenship are mutually exclusive. The letter quoted the president of Notre Dame, who said it is chilling to hear from a United States senator that religious belief might now disqualify someone from service as a federal judge. I ask you and your colleagues to respect those in whom dogma lives loudly, which is a condition we call faith. For the attempt to live such faith while one upholds the law should command respect, not evoke concern. So that's my view on the role of one's faith in public life. And that's where we were as a state before COVID. And then something unthinkable happened, something that would have been utterly beyond our contemplation. The state actually shut down churches. And of course, it went much further than that. It went further here than anywhere else in the country, resulting in 5 separate rebukes by the United States Supreme Court, all signed by Justice Barrett herself, by the way. The last of these 5 was an edict that purported to ban in-home prayer meetings and Bible studies, if you remember this. And when you read the government's briefs in that case, what they argued was, no, there's no First Amendment issue. We're banning all in-home gatherings, religious or secular, so there's no discrimination here. And what struck me is that only total ignorance of the faith experience could produce that kind of argument. When you stop people from gathering, that is religious discrimination per se. Fellowship is inherent to faith. And it's true that throughout history, those in power have preferred that people not gather for any reason. Seditious ideas can take root, like liberty, freedom, and self-determination. But it is a vibrant faith community that perhaps poses the greatest threat to a corrupt government. By bringing people together, by teaching transcendent principles and values, by providing a sense of meaning and purpose, all of that runs contrary to the goal of maximum government control. And we are still very much living through an era, a dark era of government control, which has been darker here in California than anywhere. But right now, in California, we have a chance to turn the page on this dark era of government control by lighting a new spark of liberty. And for me, that starts first and foremost with ending the state of emergency. It's about time. And by the way, that causes all state and local emergency orders to expire automatically. For every executive action this governor has taken to violate our rights and destroy our freedoms, I will take action to restore those rights and defend our freedoms. That means economic freedom, enshrining as inviolable the right to earn a living. It means educational freedom, empowering families with school choice. It means medical freedom, respecting the personal autonomy of each individual. And it means religious freedom, putting worship and fellowship beyond the reach of any bureaucrat. My friends, it is time for our state government to stop trying to attack the faith community, but to instead learn something from it. Embracing the values of humility, love, and respect for the dignity of all mankind. Humility, I think, is what we need most. Not only in the conduct of our state's chief executive, but in the role of government itself. You should be able to think about your governor with pride, but really you shouldn't have to think about your governor much at all. Right? Everything should just work as it's supposed to, and your life should be yours to live. We need to get back to basics as a government. Pave our roads, manage our forests, store our water, maintain our grid, fund our police, do the things government is supposed to do. Do the things government is supposed to do them well, and do nothing else. I actually think the most important job of our next governor is to make it less important who the governor is by returning power to local communities and their citizens. That's what America is all about, self-government. And this is the moment to rekindle that great American institution, to renew the meaning of we the people.
Good word.
We now have an opportunity in the next 9 days to show that we are still a free people, to reassert our right as a free people, to govern ourselves, and to demonstrate anew for the world to see that a free people always has the power to make tomorrow better than today. Thank you very much.
Always begin with your name and end with your name
Good point. All right. I began.
California needs a new governor, and this is a special and precious candidate, Kevin Kiley.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you. All right. Thanks for doing it. We'll do it next time.
What a great break.